Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods here. And I got some stuff to do in a little bit. I'm going to be on a Facebook page getting interviewed with a Facebook group and stuff like that, which will be fun about 8:15 or so. But I just got finished talking with Miss Jackie. Shout out to Miss Jackie. Miss Jackie keeps me well informed. And Miss Jackie sent me something. Wait. Let me pull it back up real quick from a tweet. A list of every quarterback in the NFL history. Every quarterback. Let me say it again. Every quarterback in the history of the NFL. We're talking about even before I was born. So we're talking a long time, with multiple seasons of 20 or more touchdown passes. So you have to throw at least a minimum of 20 touchdown passes and have fewer than 10 interceptions as well. By the age 25. You want me to read you the list? You got some time? It's going to take some time to read it now. You want to hear it? Okay, let me read it. Dak Prescott. Oh, I'm finished. Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is the only quarterback in the history of the NFL that by age 25 has had multiple seasons, and he's got all three of them, of 20 or more touchdown passes and less than 10 interceptions. Wow. Okay. Well, we're on the cusp of getting this deal done. Stephen Jones says that he needs to take a team-friendly deal and stuff because, ultimately being a Dallas Cowboy player, you're going to have radio show. You're going to be able to do the autograph signings. If you get that ring, you'll be part of Cowboys legend. And cha-chang, you're going to make bank. So you need to take less money, according to Stephen Jones. And that's kind of the way the Cowboys do a lot of their business, is they do it in the media. The deal will get done. And I know that there's people right now that are literally losing their minds. It's like, you're going to pay a guy to hand off the football? $30 million? Man, you crazy. You get people out there like Jabba the Hutt. I'm sorry, Jason Whitlock, that say, give him $20 million, and if he doesn't take that, let him walk and just draft another quarterback. I'm sure just drafting another quarterback, that'll work. Especially ones that end up having 14 comeback victories. Oh, I know. There's a lot of you out there that say the only reason why Dak has all those comebacks is because he sucks and he has to win in the fourth quarter because he screws up before then. Or the only reason that we're winning is because you got Zeke Elliott. So, of course, like AP, Adrian Peterson, he's got what? He's got a fistful of rings, right? Barry Sanders, he's got a fistful of them too, right? O.J. Simpson? Eric Dickerson? Oh. So just having a great running back means you got a great running back and you can run the football. But it doesn't mean you're going to win Super Bowls without having a quarterback to go along with them. They're both important. You need both of those elements to have a balanced offense. But as we sit here on the cusp of Dak Prescott joining the $30 million club, I wanted to look back at something, and I want to honestly ask you, take your blinders off. Don't be a Dallas Cowboy fan or a Dallas Cowboy hater. I just want you to pick A or B. Okay? Quarterback A, in their four playoff games, okay, has 971 yards, okay, which averages out to 242 yards per game. Yeah, it's not bad. And in those four games, has 2 touchdowns. So he's averaging a half a touchdown per game. His completion percentage is 55%. That's player A, right? So, averaging 242 yards, a half a touchdown, and a half an interception. Player B has had 3 playoff games. He's averaging, whoa. He's averaging 264 yards. So that's 22 more yards per game. His completion percentage is 64.1, 9.1 percentage better than player A. Touchdown-wise, in the 3 games that he's had, he's got 5. So mathematically, 5, that's 3. That's almost 2 touchdowns per game versus a half a touchdown. Interceptions-wise, it's 0.66. So slightly more interceptions, but a full 1.2 touchdowns more per game and 24 more yards. Oh, and yards per average on that is on player B is 7.7. Player A is 6.4. So which quarterback would you deem the better player in the playoffs? A, player A, 242 yards, a half a touchdown, a half an interception, 55% completion percentage. Or player B, 264 yards, 1.75 touchdown passes, 0.66 interceptions, and a 64.1% completion percentage. Clearly, I would think you would take the second one, B, because those numbers are better. That's Dak Prescott versus Jared Goff playoff-wise. The thing that's interesting is when you look at numbers, and let's take a look at Jared Goff's numbers. Jared Goff last year threw for 4,688 yards, 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Great season. Something interesting happened, though. If you look at the numbers, let's just take this back just for a little bit here. Let's look at just the second half of the season because you have to look at the Cowboys before AC, Amari Cooper, and after Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper made the difference for Dak Prescott. Let's be honest. Dak Prescott didn't have Jason Witten, didn't have Dez Bryant, and had new players all around him. Amari Cooper was the difference. But let's just take the second half of the season. Okay? Because something interesting happened with the Rams the second half of the season. Because Jared Goff had 4,688 yards. But the second half of the season, it was only 2,263. 7.4 yards per completion, averaged out to 282 yards, 84 QBR, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Still not bad. But here's what's interesting, because we don't think of Dak Prescott on the same level as Jared Goff, right? But what's interesting is that second half of the season of getting Amari Cooper stone cold, Dak Prescott was 2,224 yards. It's only 31 yards less than what Jared Goff had. Yards per game, 278 versus 282. Yards per completion, Jared Goff 7.4. Dak Prescott 7.63. QBR rating, Jared Goff 84.15 versus Dak Prescott's 102. Now, Jared Goff did have 3 more touchdowns, but he also had 4 more interceptions. But Dak also had 4 rushing touchdowns that Jared Goff didn't have. Now, here's where it gets even crazier, too. I want you to think about this right now. Think about the last 5 games that Jared Goff played in the season. Detroit Lions, not very good. Philadelphia, Chicago, 2 playoff teams. Then Arizona and San Francisco. 3 garbage teams, 2 playoff teams. You know, in those 5 games, Jared Goff averaged 228 yards per game, 6.7 per completion, an 80 QBR, 6 TDs, and 6 interceptions. That is what Dak Prescott was doing the first half of the season. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, well, of course. Todd Gurley was hurt part of those games. And Cooper Kupp, he lost Cooper Kupp, his wide receiver. So, of course, his numbers went down. He didn't have his studs. If that's your argument, Dak didn't have any of those guys to begin the season. He didn't have anybody to throw to. And this whole notion of the quarterback has to have players around him to succeed, you know what? I tell you what, have Tom Brady throw to me, and let's see how well they do. If you think that having players don't matter. If your philosophy is that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback and it doesn't matter who's there, let me play wide receiver for him and let's see how he does. Because clearly, going into the postseason, Dak Prescott, the last half of the season, Dak Prescott wiped the floor with Jared Goff. Jared Goff looked pretty bad going to the end of the season. But people have the same because they look at the bottom line at the numbers. Oh, 4,688. Yeah. And keep in mind that you have an offensive genius coaching there, and we have Scott Linehan who can't get a high school job right now. So before you throw all this shade and talk about how bad Dak is, how much he sucks, go by the numbers. Go by the numbers. And I guarantee you, if you do, it might change your mind. And understand that you have a quarterback who has not missed a single game like Carson Wentz. A guy who has done something that nobody else has ever done, 20 touchdowns and less than 10 interceptions their first 3 years at under 25 years of age. Under 25. His numbers are even better than Russell Wilson was at this point in his career. The time is now to give him some props. Oh, and by the way, one other thing here too. Those last 8 games that Dak Prescott played last year, I'm sorry, got the wrong one. Let's take a look at the competition that he played those last 8 games. Tennessee, playoff team. Philadelphia, playoff team. Atlanta, Washington, no. New Orleans, playoff team. Philadelphia, playoff team. Indianapolis, playoff team. 5 of the 8 games were playoff teams. Yeah. And that's all I have to say about that. So as always, friends, thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing. And I know the haters gonna hate. They're gonna come up with some BS to say I manipulated the statistics. And you know what? That's talking to a brick wall, and I just won't worry about it. I'm Mark Holmes, and thank you, Miss Jackie. I'll see you soon.